Who else has joined us?
We also have Annette, but she's on mute right now.
Hello, I'm just getting set up.
Hey there, Annette.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
We'll give it another couple of minutes, see if anyone joins us. Hello, Debbie. Susanna, do you have your watch or clock available?
Yes,
What time is it now?
I have 11:03 my time.
Okay, give it another minute, then we'll get going.
Sure.
Okay, well, let me say good afternoon again to those of you joining us. A very warm welcome to all of our KBB family members for this Tap into Calm and Confidence workshop utilizing the Emotional Freedom Techniques, EFT. I want to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to be here. And I'd also like to give very special thanks to two of our KBB family members. Thank you so very much, Susanna Reyes-Lee, for assisting with the tech part of using Zoom and all of your different suggestions and changes to prepare the presentation. And thank you also so very much, Jose Grujon, for giving great help designing landing pages and also offering various suggestions. And I'd like to thank my wife, Connie, for her support and suggestions and running my concerns by her. So thank you as well. Perhaps those of you on the call could introduce yourself on the chat and say where you are from. My name is Jeff Schneider. I'm a US-based licensed therapist. And for the past 34 years, I've been helping people to feel calmer, more relaxed, and more confident so that they could reach their financial and business goals and to have a more caring, understanding, supportive, and intimate relationship. After reading some of the posts on the Facebook group about people feeling anxious and stuck and overwhelmed and confused, I decided that I wanted to offer this workshop to you so that you can have a resource to help you to feel calmer and more relaxed, more confident, and to get unstuck and clearer. And I can surely relate to the stress and feeling overwhelmed. As a highly sensitive person with an endless to-do list and with a harsh inner critic, often telling me, do more, do it better, I sometimes, okay, if I'm really transparent and honest, often feel overwhelmed, stuck, and anxious. And I have accompanying physical symptoms to go along with the stress and feeling overwhelmed. One of the ways that I alleviate some of my stress and feeling overwhelmed and physical symptoms and help to manage it is to utilize the emotional freedom techniques. It's a very easy to learn and gentle tapping technique. And one of the numerous great benefits of EFT is that it can be done anywhere, anytime, and without any equipment. It has helped me to address a wide range of my challenges and also has contributed to my having a six-figure plus counseling and therapy practice. I've also utilized EFT with my clients to reduce stress, fear, and anxiety, to feel more confident, to heal from physical, emotional, and sexual trauma, to address emotional overeating and other compulsions, to become more assertive, speak up more openly and directly, so that they could get their needs and wants met more consistently. It could also be used to address just about any sort of challenge that you are struggling with. While EFT is very powerful and a great resource, today's seminar is not meant to diagnose, cure, or treat illness, nor is it therapy or counseling. If you are suffering from any mental, emotional, or physical illness, please make sure you contact the appropriate professional. I also want to make note that today's seminar is being recorded and may be offered by me in other parts of my practice. So please be mindful of this in the event that you do any personal sharing, or if I happen to work with you individually today. The emotional freedom techniques is an emotional version of acupuncture, except that needles are not necessary. Instead, we gently stimulate the energy pathways or meridians in our body by gently tapping on them with our fingertips. The premise of EFT is that the cause of all painful emotions is a disruption in the body's energy system. Tapping on the body's meridians or energy pathways helps us to release painful emotions. When these emotions are stored or locked in our body, we often experience headaches, GI distress, illness, physical pain, and a range of mental health issues. It also causes us to feel stuck and to have difficulty moving forward. And of course, if we feel stuck and have difficulty moving forward and feel overwhelmed, it will interfere with us reaching our business, financial, personal, health, and relationship goals. I'm wondering how many of you could relate to this. Today, I will introduce you to the EFT tapping points, teach you how to design and use a setup phrase, which is the phrase that begins to address your challenge and pain how to shorten this phrase to a reminder phrase, and how to utilize EFT effectively. We will begin with a group exercise, and then I will ask for volunteers with whom I will work individually. There will also be a short time for questions and answers. When I work with someone individually, I want to ask the rest of you to please tap along and say the things that we are saying. Before this, you will have identified some things that are troubling you. If you tap along with us, with the person that I'm working with, you will receive benefits and relief from your challenges as well. In EFT jargon, this is called borrowing benefits. Please also know that if you find this seminar worthwhile and wish to deepen your experience, at the end, I will offer some complimentary gifts to help you deepen your experience of EFT. I wonder if you might care on the chat to say what prompted you to attend today. And would you also share in a word or two, what is your most painful struggle? Would you say it's feeling overwhelmed or stuck or confused or anxious or maybe something else? Are we getting any responses, Susanna, from the poll?
Let's see. Yes, we have multiple priorities, getting feedback there. We've got stress. Let's see. And we also just had people introducing themselves. So Annette was also sharing where she lives and who she works with. So we've got stress. If anybody wants to quickly unmute themselves and share as well, you can do so.
Okay, so we will begin with a group exercise, as I said, and we will tap on the discomfort of stress. When we tap, please use your index and middle fingers on either hand, and you could switch hands during the process. And let me also introduce you real quickly to the EFT tapping points before I lead you through a tapping exercise. I'm going to give you a very thorough introduction to the different points. If you choose to tap on your own, please know that you do not really need to tap on the top of the hand or the finger points if you don't wish to. And please also know that EFT, it's a very forgiving technique. It is not important to do it exactly how I'm doing it today and to remember all of the tapping points or the exact sequence that I'm doing today. The most important thing about EFT is to practice it and utilize it. Okay, so you identified that you're feeling some stress. And what I want to ask you to do is to think about the intensity of the stress that you're generally feeling and measure it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, the strongest. And I also want to ask you to check in with your body and do a scan from the top of your head down to your toes and see where you may be holding some of this stress. Okay, so let's begin tapping, and we're going to tap on stress. So please begin by tapping on the side of your hand. and say, even though I'm feeling this stress, sometimes it feels overwhelming. Sometimes there is just too much to do in too little time. And I feel the stress in my body. Sometimes my shoulders are hunched up to my ears. Sometimes my jaw is clenched. Sometimes my hands are sweating. My stomach might be flipping. My heart might be racing. My fingers might be clenched. My toes might be clenched. There might be tightness in my chest. And right here and now, I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm open to new perspectives. I'm open to new possibilities. Maybe I could accept and love myself just as I am. Maybe I could even accept the part of me that feels stressed. Maybe I can have kindness and compassion toward myself because it's hard living with this stress. Maybe I can acknowledge myself for being here today and making the time and nurturing myself. Maybe I could appreciate what's working in my life and the abundance in my life. And maybe I could forgive myself. So when we tap on a problem, right now we are doing the setup phrase. And we use the setup phrase 3 times while tapping on the side of our hand. So we're going to do another round on the side of our hand. And this point is also called the karate chop point. Even though I feel this stress, it's uncomfortable. It weighs me down, keeps me stuck. It's uncomfortable and unpleasant. And I feel the stress in my body. Sometimes I feel it as a headache or a neck ache or as weight on my shoulders or flipping in my stomach. Sometimes my chest feels tight. Sometimes my jaw is clenched. And right here, right now, I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm open to new possibilities and perspectives. I'm open to accepting and loving myself deeply. I'm open to even accepting that I feel stressed. And maybe I can have kindness and compassion for myself because it's difficult feeling all this stress. And maybe I could appreciate the abundance in my life. Maybe I could acknowledge myself for being here. And maybe I could forgive myself. Even though I feel the stress and it weighs me down, sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes I'm tired of all this stress. I just want to be able to relax. Sometimes there's just too much to do in too short of a time. And sometimes there are just too many choices to pick from. And my head feels like it's about to explode. So much stress. And right here, right now, I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm open to new perspectives and new possibilities. I'm open to accepting and loving myself deeply. I'm open to having kindness and compassion for myself. I'm open to acknowledging myself for being here and nurturing myself like this. And maybe I could forgive myself. And now we're going to tap through the different points. So follow along with me. We're going to go to the top of the head. And we're going to take the setup phrase, which we just used, and we're going to shorten it to what we call a reminder phrase. All of this stress. Now we go to the middle of the forehead. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Eyebrow points. All this stress. Side of the eye. It gives me a headache. Under the eye. All of this stress. Top lip. It could be overwhelming. Bottom lip. All this stress. Sometimes my jaw is so tight and it's clenched. Now we tap the collarbone point. All of this stress. tightness in my chest. Now we go under the armpit, about 3 inches down. All of this stress, it gets overwhelming. And now we tap under the ribs, making horizontal lines along our tummy. All of this stress, it gets overwhelming. Tightness in my tummy. My tummy feels flipping. Now I want to introduce you to the finger points, give a very comprehensive introduction. So we're going to go to the side of each finger, okay? And we're going to begin by tapping on the thumb at the cuticle. All of this stress, now we go to the index finger, it gets overwhelming. Middle finger, all of this stress. Ring finger, I don't know what to do first. Pinky, I don't know the order to do things. There are too many things to do. It gets overwhelming. And now we're going to tap on the top of the hand. If you look at your pinky and you look at your ring finger and the knuckles right above them, right above that, there's an indentation on the top of your hand. Why don't you please tap in there? We're going to do some eye movements now as well with some sound. And this is called the brain balancer. And it balances the left part and the right part of our brain. So please tap on that indentation. Now I want to ask you to please close your eyes, open your eyes, look with your eyes without moving your head, hard right down, hard left down. Big circle one way with your eyes, big circle the other way with your eyes. Now I want to ask you to just please hum anything that you like. Now I want to ask you, please count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I want to ask you to hum again. Now we're going to go back to the points. And what we're going to do is tap in a solution. So we begin by tapping on a challenge. We do the setup phrase, the reminder phrase, and now we tap in a solution. We go to the top of the head. Maybe I can let go of even 1% of this stress. Middle of the forehead. Maybe I could let go of even 1% of this overwhelm. Eyebrow points. Maybe I could feel a little clearer and calmer. Side of the eyes. Maybe I could trust that things are going to work out. Under the eye. Maybe I could let go of even 1% of this stress. Top lip. Feeling a bit calmer. Feeling a bit more relaxed. Bottom lip. Letting go of even 1% of this stress. Trust collarbone points, trusting that things will work out. Under the arm. I don't have to do everything all at once. Under the ribs on the tummy. I could prioritize things. Top of the head, feeling a bit calmer, feeling a bit more relaxed. Forehead, letting go of even 1% of this stress. Eyebrows, knowing there's a soothing, healing energy that surrounds me and protects me. Top lip, this soothing, healing energy, it flows through me from the top of my head down to my toes. Collarbone points, feeling calmer and more relaxed. Under the arm, letting go of even a small percentage of this stress. Under the ribs, knowing that things will work out. Inner wrist. I could prioritize things. I could take deep breaths. I can let go of even 1% of this stress. We'll go back to the side of the hand, feeling calmer, feeling more relaxed, being open to new possibilities. Okay, what I would like to ask you to do now, please, Take a nice, long, slow, deep breath. Hold it in for a second and let it out slowly. And now I'd like to ask you, please, to take another nice, long, slow, deep breath. Hold it in for a second and let it out slowly. And now what I'd like to ask you to do is check in. See what your level of stress is. And please check in with your body again. And would someone care to share, either in the chat or live, how the tapping was for you, what might have come up for you, and what kind of change did you see in your level of stress and in whatever was going on in your body?
So I can probably come in and say something. I have a lot of things in my mind, and as you know, and all of us know, that we are trying to do many things at once. When we started the session, I was thinking, well, I gotta start this. Let me make a note of that before I forget, so I can have a peace of mind and actually concentrate on what I'm doing here with you. And while I was doing the tapping, I was forgetting these things, or at least the worries about it, because I know I'm gonna get to them. But I was able to really feel that there is a peaceful outcome. Even more, like someone is telling me, it's okay. You don't have to rush your mind. You don't have to put pressure in your brain. You can just enjoy this moment, slow down a little bit, catch a breath, be more alert and aware of how your body's behaving so that you can take care of any issues that may arouse. Basically taking care of your body in a way, mentally, physically, and even spiritually. So now I feel calmer. I feel like I can actually do more things. And I've never experienced this way. I mean, I've done it with meditation and so forth, but this is really more physical, where your body's really forcing it down rather than your brain or your mind actually taking all the load. So it's actually a very different experience. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for such sharing, and I'm glad you had such a great experience. Now, what, Jose, was your level of stress before we did the tapping?
Well, if we can say a level 1 to 10, it was probably an 8, because I was running this morning, like a lot of things just to get here and running. And when I sat down, was like, okay, my heart is still beating, beat a high on the palpitations. And now it's roughly like maybe 3 or 4, I feel, although I know that I got things to do, but I'm not worried anymore.
Okay. Okay, so it's at least a 50% decrease.
50% decrease, yes.
Excellent. Do we have any other responses, or anyone else want to share live like Jose just did?
Jeff, we had Debbie type in. She said it disrupts what's on her mind and makes her focus on relaxing. And she says, thank you. It made her slow down. And Brandy has also typed in that it's very calming, very interesting technique. So thanks for sharing.
Okay.
Jeff, hi, sorry about that. I actually have been doing a lot in my house as well, because I have a very big call at 1 o'clock. So I'm kind of multitasking before, and actually it stopped me from multitasking and sit down and focus, because I was watching, but I have stuff going on behind. I didn't want it to disrupt the rest of the team. And it actually not only slowed me down, it made me stop and sit down and do the exercises with you. I'm going to leave the camera off because still stuff going behind me, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, you're very welcome. Is there anything more, Brandy, that you might like to add by chance? Okay, thank you. So when we tap on a challenge or painful emotion, the ideal is to bring the intensity down to a level of 1 or 2. So what I would like to propose is that we just do one more round on stress, okay? And let's just do a quick let's just do let's just use the setup phrase once on the side of the hand, and we'll say this remaining stress. Even though I have this remaining stress, and even though I'm multitasking, right here, right now, I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm open to new possibilities, including even becoming calmer and more relaxed. Maybe I could accept and love myself just as I am. Maybe I could even accept that, yes, I get stressed. It's part of being a person. Maybe I could appreciate the abundance in my life. Maybe I can have kindness and compassion toward myself because, you know, I'm really working hard. I'm really doing a lot. And maybe I could forgive myself. Top of the head, this remaining stress. Forehead, so much to do. Eyebrows, it feels like I'm just so often on the go. Side of the eye, remaining stress. Under the eye, multitasking. Top lip, I don't know what to do first sometimes. Bottom lip, trying to do so many things at once. Collarbone, so many worries. Under the arm, so much fretting about things. Under the ribs, multitasking. Top of the head, things could work out. Forehead, there's usually something to learn from all situations. Eyebrows, I'll figure it out. And by the way, the eyebrows, you could tap one eyebrow, the other eyebrow, or both. Same with the side of the eye. One side, the other side, both. Feeling calmer and more relaxed. Under the eye, under the eye. I could prioritize my to-do list. Top lip, I could relax even more deeply. Bottom lip, my brilliant subconscious mind will remind me that there's a soothing, healing light protecting me. Collarbone, and that it flows through me, calming me, soothing all my glands and muscles and organs. Under the arm, feeling calmer, more relaxed. Under the ribs, allowing myself to be more focused. Inner wrist, I'll get to those things that I need to do. I'll take them one at a time. I'll figure out which is most important. I'll prioritize. Feeling calmer, feeling more relaxed. Let's go back to the side of the hand, letting go of even another small percentage of this stress. The muscles in my body are relaxing. My breathing is becoming more even and deep. Feeling calmer, feeling more relaxed. Okay, once again, I'd like to ask you, please take a nice, long, slow, deep breath. Hold it in for a second, and now let it out slowly. And now, once again, in the chat or live, I'd like to ask you, how did this additional round impact on the intensity of your stress?
I can go. So this is kind of funny. I guess so. I wanted to learn how tapping can help with stress. However, when I got on the call, I wasn't stressed. So I felt like I needed to create stress to get a bigger impact because I wasn't stressed when I got on the call. So I was kind of neutral. I couldn't even think of a number to describe how I was feeling, which is kind of strange. So I guess I would have said when I started the call, I was probably like a 2. And I think I'm still a 2. However, one thing I did notice is when I was doing the tapping throughout, I was solution oriented. So I recognized my challenge, which wasn't stress, it was something causing stress, maybe a few days ago. And I focused on, I guess the second round, my mind was saying solution, solution, solution. So I was focusing on the word solution, not having a solution yet, but just saying everything else has kind of dissipated in my mind. I wasn't focused on the problem, I was focusing on a solution. That's what I want to say. So it kind of helped me quiet my mind. I know somebody else had said that earlier. Reduce the noise and just said, okay, get rid of that and let's focus on a solution. Don't have a solution yet, but my mind said, pick a date and when is that solution going to come to you? So it kind of expanded away from the problem and more focused on the solution. So it created kind of a journey in my mind for me, even though it didn't finish it all the way. It just kind of escalated to, okay, acknowledges the problem, let's focus on being calm and let's focus on creating a solution. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you for all of that sharing.
Okay, you're welcome.
I found that by pausing, like I wrote down text, that the moment that you were asking me, that we were explaining and so forth, that I started to go back to my original thoughts that were worrying me. And when we did the second round, I was able to control it even further down to a point where I could drop it close to 1, like a 2. And what really actually helped me, and I'm not sure if this is something you suggest, Jeff, for us to do, especially people like me with a monkey mind, is to write down the thought so that I can actually just get it out of my mind for the moment, trusting that I'm not going to forget because I can look back to my notes. And that's my worry, that I can forget because I'm very easily distracted.
I think writing down our thoughts is very helpful, getting them out of our head and onto paper. In some programs I've taken, through the years, the coaches have referred to this as a brain dump. So we take everything right in our head and we get it down on paper. And before we tap, yes, we could cite down a particular circumstance that's troubling us. We identify the emotion associated with the circumstance. We measure the intensity of the emotion on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is the strongest, and that's called our subjective unit of distress, or SUD. So yes, Jose, writing it down is very beneficial. Yes, thank you for your question. Okay, any additional sharing about how the last round impacted on you physically, mentally, and/or emotionally?
Jeff, we also had Brandy that said that it helped her get back to a 3 or 4 down from 8, 9. She really enjoys the technique.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's quite a drop, Brandy. Glad to hear it. 8 or 9 down to 3 or 4. Yes, that's very significant. Good. Okay, so what I would like to do now is ask one of you brave souls to work with me individually. You are welcome to bring up anything at all that is that you're struggling with, or that is a concern. And after I get a volunteer, I'd like to ask the rest of you to please identify an issue or challenge that you are struggling with, and then identify the primary emotion associated with the struggle. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's anger, maybe it's loneliness, maybe it's feeling stuck, overwhelmed. So you identify a circumstance, and then primary emotion associated with it. Then you scale it 1 to 10, 10 being strongest. And when I tap with the volunteer, you'll just please tap along with us. So may I please have a volunteer? Again, something on your mind, something that you're struggling with, something might be affecting your health, your business, your family, your relationship, whatever it is.
I can be a volunteer if no one wants to do it right now.
That's great.
So my biggest thing lately is worries, fear, but mostly being overwhelmed because I'm doing so many things. It gets to a point where I can hardly sleep, although I'm a very heavy sleeper, meaning that I fall asleep in seconds. I tend to wake up a lot in the middle of the night, which is, I feel like it's not a big deal because I fall back asleep right away. But I tend to wake up early. If it's 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, you know what? Let me just get up and do my things, 'cause I have all these things in my mind. And it's gotten to a point where my body is giving me the signal saying, hey, you got to take more time to sleep or take naps. And I don't listen to it because I feel like time is running and I have people waiting. And it gets to a point where even like that, I don't get to finish all my tasks. It's very overwhelming and it's taking a hit on me.
Okay, so it sounds like the primary challenge is overwhelmed. Is that accurate?
That's accurate, correct. I mean, everything else falls under that, like stress and everything else, but overwhelmed from doing so many things, trying to do that at once, correct.
Okay. So generally speaking, of late, what is the general level, Jose, of feeling overwhelmed on a scale of 1 to 10?
10 is a very low number. I would say that in the past maybe couple of weeks, I've been hitting top 10, where I just start screaming. And my wife is like, what's going on? Everything's going to work out. And that makes it worse because well, it's not working out if I'm not doing it. So it gets very high, I would say in the close to 10. And all of a sudden, maybe something happens and it works out one way or another. And I'm like, wow, I worried for something that I really had no control. And look, I still had a good outcome. But then my body is hurt. It's like beat up, right? So I still feel that stress, that after effect. And that's what really still lingers around me.
Along with the frequent waking, if you are willing to share, what other impacts has the overwhelmed feeling had on your body?
Oh, wow. Up to a point where I can feel strain in my fingers, like my skin doesn't belong in my body, up to a point where I get fog in my brain where I cannot focus on certain things when I'm trying to meditate or read or learn something, or even just driving. It's like, I'm forcing myself to actually look on the road rather than going where my mind wants to go. And even intimately, sexually speaking, I also have to concentrate more on that and try to say, well, you know what, if I write it down or if I have things that don't have a very high priority, even though it's tomorrow, but don't have a very high priority, that I don't have to put 100% of my thoughts into, then I can have some of my energy focused on other things. So it has been affecting my intimacy, I think, personally speaking. Also, I lack of more certainty in my future, even though I know that I'm very capable and even more to actually get those goals done. But it's just that I'm jumping on anything that relates to my the tools that I may need, I just grab them and say, okay, I'm holding on to these in case I need them. And it just feels like I'm having too much in my hands, you know?
I do know. Okay, so let's begin. And again, so for those of you other than Jose, you have identified a challenge in your life. Maybe you've written it down. You've identified the emotion associated with it and the intensity of it, okay? Now what I want to ask the rest of you, before Jose and I begin tapping, just put aside that challenge. And when Jose and I are tapping, please tap along with us. Please offer he and I your support. And then after he and I work together, I'll check in with you about where the intensity of your discomfort was, okay? Okay, so we're going to start on the side of the hand, Jose. And we're going to say, even though I have been feeling so overwhelmed, can we get Jose's volume open?
Even though
please?
I have been feeling so overwhelmed,
And I've had so many worries,
and I've had so many worries,
I can hardly sleep.
I can hardly sleep.
I'm waking up through the night.
I'm waking up through the night.
And then finally, sometimes at 4 or 5 a.m., I just get up.
And then finally at 4 or 5 o'clock a.m., I just get up.
And then I start doing what I have to do.
And then I start doing what I have to do.
Day after day.
Day after day.
My body is speaking to me.
My body is speaking to me.
It says, hey, give me more rest.
It says, hey, give me more rest.
It says, let's take some naps.
It says, hey, let's take some nap.
I'm not listening to it though.
I'm not listening to it though.
Because I'm too busy.
Because I'm too busy.
I've got too many things to do that rest my body.
To do the rest of my body.
And my stress is, my overwhelm has been so.
And my overwhelm has been
so strong.
So strong.
It's even higher than a 10 on a scale of 10.
It's even higher than a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10.
10's very low.
10 is very low.
And then I start screaming.
And then I start screaming.
My wife says, it'll work out.
My wife says, it'll work out.
Yet I'm worried that it won't.
And I'm worried that I won't.
I worry about things that I have no control over.
I worry about things that have no control.
I feel the strain in my fingers.
I feel the strain on my fingers.
I feel fog in my brain.
I feel fog in my brain.
The overwhelm is so strong.
The overwhelm is so strong.
That it's affecting the intimacy with my wife.
Affecting the intimacy with my wife.
And now I have to concentrate.
And I have to concentrate more.
So much overwhelm.
So much overwhelm.
Too much on my plate.
Too much on my plate.
Too much on my hands.
Too much on my hand.
And right here, right now.
And right here, right now.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm open to new possibilities and
Open to
perspectives.
new possibilities.
Maybe I could accept and love myself just
Maybe
as I am.
Accept myself just as I am.
Maybe I could accept that my body needs more rest.
Maybe I can accept that my body needs more rest.
Maybe I can have kindness and compassion toward
Maybe
myself.
I can have kindness and compassion for myself.
Because I've been suffering.
Because I've been suffering.
Maybe I can acknowledge myself for being here right now.
Acknowledge for myself for being here right now.
For taking good care of myself.
For taking good care of myself.
Maybe I could appreciate the abundance in my life and what's
Maybe I can
working.
appreciate the abundance of my life and what's working.
And maybe I could forgive myself.
And maybe I can forgive myself.
Okay, we're going to do another round on the karate chop point. Even though I've been feeling so overwhelmed,
I've been feeling so overwhelmed.
it's been really intense.
It's been really intense.
Sometimes I'm home and I start
Sometimes
screaming.
I'm home and I start screaming.
My wife wonders, what's up with me?
My wife wonders, what's up with me?
She says, it'll work out, hon.
Says, it'll work out, hon.
Yet I'm worried.
And I'm worried.
There's so much uncertainty.
So much uncertainty.
I carry so much
I
responsibility.
carry so much responsibility.
It's affecting my sleep.
It's affecting my sleep.
It's affecting my sexual intimacy.
It's affecting my sexual intimacy.
There are a lot of painful effects of this overwhelmed feeling.
Effects and this overwhelmed healing.
This strain in my fingers.
Strain of my fingers.
Fog in my brain.
Fog in my brain.
So much uncertainty.
So much uncertainty.
There's too much on my hands.
There's too much on my hand.
There's too much on my mind.
Too much on my mind.
I'm carrying too much on my shoulders.
Carrying too much on my shoulders.
And right here, right now,
And right here, right now,
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
I'm open to
I'm
new
open
possibilities.
to new possibilities.
I'm open to approaching
I'm
things
open
more
to
healthily.
approaching things more healthily.
Maybe I could have kindness and compassion
I
toward
have
myself.
kindness and passion for myself.
Maybe I could accept and love myself just
Accept
as I am.
myself, just to him.
Maybe I can acknowledge how hard I'm working,
How hard I'm working.
and maybe I could forgive myself.
And maybe I can forgive myself.
Feeling overwhelmed.
Feeling overwhelmed.
There's fog in my brain.
There's fog in my brain.
Can't think clearly sometimes.
Think clearly sometimes.
There's lacking
There's
certainty.
lacking certainty.
I'm waking up several
I'm waking up
times
several
through the night.
times through the night.
My body needs more rest.
My body needs more rest.
By the time I wake up,
By the
4 or
time I
5
wake up,
a.m.,
4 or 5 a.m.,
I figure why not I just stay up?
and I just stay up.
And then I'm back
And
working
then I'm
again.
back working again.
My body's calling me back to
My
bed.
body is calling me back to bed.
It wants me to give it rest.
To give it rest.
It wants me to give it some naps,
Give some naps.
even 10 or 15-minute
Or
naps.
15-minute naps.
I'm not listening to it.
I'm not listening to it.
My to-do list is more
My to-do
important than my
list
body.
In my body.
I got to get things
I gotta
done.
get things done.
I'm the only one doing
I'm
them.
the one doing them.
If I don't do them, who's
If I
going to
don't
do them?
who's gonna do them?
So much worry.
So much worry.
I get up 4 or 5 in the
Get up
morning,
4 or 5 in the morning,
day after day,
day after day,
feeling overwhelmed.
feeling overwhelmed,
It's affecting my sexual
affecting my
intimacy.
sexual intimacy.
I have to concentrate
I have to
more.
concentrate more.
There's so much more
So
on my
much
mind.
more on my mind.
I have to concentrate on my wife.
Concentrate on my wife.
It feels forced sometimes.
Or sometimes.
So much overwhelmed.
So much overwhelmed.
I can hardly
I can
sleep.
hardly sleep.
I'm worried over things
I'm
I have
worried
no
over
control
things
over.
I have no control over.
Maybe something can shift for me.
Something can shift for me.
Maybe I could let some
Maybe
things
I
go.
let some things go.
Maybe I can ask for help.
We can ask for help.
Maybe I can hire some
And
help.
hire some help.
Maybe I could let go of even a portion of this overwhelm.
Portion of this overwhelm.
Maybe I could be a little more focused.
Maybe it can be a little bit more focus.
Maybe I could take my body
Maybe I
more
can take my
into,
body
more into consideration.
more into consideration.
Maybe I can listen to what it needs.
To what needs.
Maybe I can let go
And let go
of even a portion of this overwhelm.
this overwhelm.
If I prioritize things,
If I prioritize things
look at things one at a time,
one at a time,
see what's most
see
important,
what's most important,
and then focus on that,
and then focus on that,
I'll likely feel
I
calmer.
like to feel calm.
Overwhelm comes from
Overwhelm comes from
believing that all the things we need to
all
do
things that we need to do
have to be done in that moment,
have to be done in that moment.
and that all of the things are equally
All
important.
the things are equally important.
It feels urgent.
It feels urgent.
The truth is
The truth is,
that while the urgency
while
feels
the
real,
feels real,
and those things do need to get done,
things do get things to get done.
they're not urgent.
They're not urgent.
Most of them can wait,
Most of them can wait.
and I can take things one at a time.
Things one at a time.
I can write it all out, get it
And
out of
write
my,
it all out, get it out of my head,
get it on paper.
get it on paper.
I could do this brain dump,
I can do this brain dump.
and then I can separate the
And I can
things
separate things.
into different projects.
It's a different project.
And then I can look at each project
I can look at each project
and see what different steps need
and
to
see
be
what
taken
steps need to be taken
to complete the project.
to complete the project.
I could slow down.
I can slow down.
I could prioritize things.
I can prioritize things.
Maybe my wife could help me.
Maybe my wife can help.
Maybe she can't.
Maybe she can.
I could consider
I consider
resting my body more.
resting my body more.
Where will I be
Where will I be
if my body rebels
if my body rebels
and it could no longer serve me?
and can no longer serve me?
Letting go
Letting go
of even a portion of this overwhelm.
of a portion of this overwhelm.
Letting my body rest more.
Letting my body rest more.
Letting my mind be more at peace.
Letting my mind be more at peace.
Letting my mind be clearer.
Letting my mind be clearer.
Feeling a bit calmer.
Feeling a bit calmer.
Feeling a bit more hopeful.
Feeling a bit more hopeful.
And letting go
And letting go
of even a portion of this overwhelm.
of a portion of this overwhelm.
Okay, Jose, what I'd like to ask you to do, please, is take another nice, long, slow, deep breath. Hold it in, let it out slowly. And let's do one more. Nice, long, slow, deep breath in through the nose. Hold it in a second. Slowly let it out through the mouth. And what I'd like to ask you now is to tell me what came up for you during the tapping, and what is your level of feeling overwhelmed right now?
When you said the keyword asking for help, that reminded me of what I know that I need to do, and I haven't really taken time for that action. Knowing that that's what I need to do to get things in order, I was able to make that in my mind a priority over the actual tasks that I have to do. So I feel a little bit more at ease. Is a significant change, but it's not 100% down to one. From a level of overwhelm of high 8s to 10, I can say that I feel, because of what I need to do and knowing it, I feel about a 3 or 4. So it did decrease it. And I became very much aware that, hey, it's going to continue to happen if you don't change something. And when you have to change, you have to get more people to be involved if you want to actually do everything, or just don't do everything. Start dropping certain things and do the things that really make a difference. All that was working in my subconscious mind. And now I have it in my conscious mind.
That's wonderful. So what do you think you would be valuable for you to get more people involved so you could get some help for yourself? What are some of the action steps there?
So before the session, I interviewed a prospect who is doing internships at a university nearby. He was one of 8, and he was the last one, and he's very interested. And that will be my first action. He will be probably starting on Monday. It'll be a few hours here and there, but the fact that he's interested in learning what I'm doing to actually apply to his life in the future, for me, means that I'm gonna get some help, because he's gonna be doing certain things for me to learn the process. From there, I like to use that time when I offset some of my time over to him to actually find a full-time employee or part-time that spends a lot of hours for me, taking down some of the tasks that really is time-consuming and that brings no immediate value to my business or my life. Someone who, let's say, will be doing tasks that are worth $20 an hour or less. And from there, I'm gonna make a plan where I can hire virtual assistants, continue with my training, and from there, hopefully scaling it. So my plan is to actually offset the tasks that are the required time, because time is the thing that I don't have enough of.
Okay. Okay, it sounds great. Now let me ask you, would you like to do another round, or do you feel complete?
I like to do another round. I can do it myself if you want after our meeting. I think or with you, but we don't have to use the time if you don't want to.
Well, you know what? Let me check in with the others, see where they're at with what they identified, and then I will get back to you in a moment. So for the rest of you who tapped along with Jose and I, what was the level of intensity that you were struggling with, and where are you at now with it? And please share on the chat or come on live with us. Anyone in addition to Jose?
Just some feedback from Debbie. She, I think she had to leave. She had another call, but she definitely saw this as being very peaceful, spending time here. And so then Tina also just started, so she's a little lost. So she's just kind of chiming in and saying hello.
Well, hello, Tina. What, Tina, do you need so that you're clearer and not lost?
She needs to find time. She needs to find who to delegate her routine work to so that she's not overwhelmed. And we also had Diane, who just joined. She joined a little late, but she believes this is a great healing option as well.
Okay. Okay. So let's get back to Jose, and then I'm going to check in afterwards with others as well, okay? So Jose, we'll do another round on the overwhelm, and we're going to more deeply imprint your action steps, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you. And
Sure.
Tina, welcome to the club.
Side of the hand, even though I have this remaining overwhelmed,
Even though I have this overwhelm,
I am feeling some relief.
I am feeling some relief.
This remaining overwhelm,
This remaining overwhelm
there's still a lot more to do.
is still a lot more to do.
Still a lot of pressure.
Still a lot of pressure.
And I'm open to accepting and loving myself just as I
I'm
am.
open to accepting and loving myself as I am.
I'm open to new possibilities.
I'm open to new possibilities.
I'm open to new perspectives.
I'm open to new perspectives.
I'm open to acknowledging myself
I'm open to acknowledging myself
for being here today,
for being here today,
to nurture myself,
to nurture myself,
and to get some relaxation.
and to get some relaxation.
And maybe I could forgive myself.
And maybe I can forgive myself.
This remaining overwhelmed feeling,
Overwhelming feeling.
there's still so much to do.
It's still so much to do.
Remaining overwhelmed.
Remaining overwhelmed.
It's become such a habit now.
It's become such a habit now.
Remaining overwhelmed.
Remaining overwhelmed.
There's so much to do.
There's so much to do.
There's so many uncertainties.
There's so many uncertainties.
I don't have control over a
I
lot of
don't
things.
have control over my life.
Sometimes I'm home and I start yelling and
Sometimes
screaming.
I'm home and I start yelling and screaming.
My wife wonders, what's
My
up?
wife wonders what's up.
She tries to comfort me,
She tries to comfort me,
says things will work out,
says things will work out,
yet I'm worried.
yet I'm worried.
This overwhelmed feeling
This overwhelmed feeling
been affecting my sleep,
affecting my sleep,
been affecting my sexual intimacy.
affecting my sexual intimacy.
Sometimes I'm with my wife,
Sometimes I'm with my wife.
my body's there,
My body's there.
my mind isn't though.
My mind is not, though.
I have to concentrate more.
I have to concentrate more.
Letting go
Letting go
of even another small percentage
of even another small percentage
of this overwhelmed feeling.
of this overwhelmed feeling.
An intern is starting Monday.
An intern is starting Monday.
That's going to free me up.
It's going to free me up.
It's going to free up some of my time.
It's going to free up some of my time.
I'm going to be getting some help.
I'm going to be getting some help.
And then the next step
And then the next step
is to hire a part-time or
Hire-
full-time employee
is to hire a part-time or full-time employee
who could do tasks that are time-consuming for
to
me.
do 2 tasks that is time consuming for me.
That's going to free up my time
It's going to free up my time
and my creativity.
and my creativity.
And I'm also looking to hire a
I'm
virtual
also looking
assistant.
to hire a virtual assistant.
This will be of real value for me.
This will be of real value to me.
And he or she will do tasks as
And
needed.
She is gonna be doing tasks as needed.
It'll be a big help,
It'll be a big help,
allowing my mind and body to relax further,
allowing my mind and body to relax for a minute.
letting go
Letting go
of even a small portion of this remaining
of a
overwhelm,
small portion of being overwhelmed,
feeling calmer,
feeling calmer,
feeling more relaxed,
feeling more relaxed.
allowing all the muscles and cells and
All my
ligaments,
muscles and cells and ligaments,
all the organs,
all the organs,
all the muscles,
all the muscles,
all the tendons
all the tendons
throughout my body
from my body
to relax,
to relax.
and allowing my mind to
And
relax
allowing my
further,
mind to relax further.
feeling more hopeful,
Feeling more hopeful.
knowing that help is on the way.
Knowing that help is on the way.
Soon I'll be hiring more people.
Soon I'll be hiring more people.
Soon I'll be hiring a VA.
Soon I'll be hiring a VA.
They'll do some of the things that I'm doing
Do
now.
some of the things that I'm doing now.
I'll have more time for myself.
I'll have more time for myself.
I'll have more time for my family.
I'll have time for my family.
I'll have time to relax.
I'll have time to relax.
And maybe I could realize
And maybe you can realize
that I deserve this time,
that I deserve this time.
feeling calmer,
Feeling calmer,
feeling more relaxed.
feeling more relaxed.
Okay, another nice, long, slow, deep breath, please. Hold it in a second, let it out slowly. And why don't you please tell me what your level of overwhelm is now, what came up during the tapping, and how your body is.
My level is lower, definitely lower. I can feel it. I feel that I am more certain now. I have a strong belief that things will happen as they should. So I'm leaning towards that feeling and that trust. The trust is what's really calming me down and saying, hey, you know, it'll be fine. So now I'm actually understanding why my wife says it'll be fine. So the level has dropped to, let's say, a 2. And sometimes I feel like it even goes lower and then just hovers around 2. Things that happened during this last session, my phone was ringing off the hook because I was able to see the lights, and I was not even caring who called or why, because if they need something, they'll leave a message and I will return their call later. Before, it would be like, let me see who it is, because if it's important, at least let me text back or be aware that, hey, I got to call this person and write it down. Right now, it's like, you know what? I'm not even going to touch it because I'd rather leave it as it is so that when I'm finished with the sessions here, I can go back in my time and actually see the missed calls rather than looking at them. It marks it red because you looked at it, and then now you have to worry about it or write it down because otherwise you forget it. I know that I won't forget because it's still unread. So I'm actually taking advantage of the fact that I'm not jumping on things because I know it's just hanging for me and it's okay to wait.
Wonderful experience. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Would anyone, in addition to Jose, like to jump in? Talk about your experience of doing this EFT tapping to this point. Okay, so we don't have anyone in addition to Jose. For you on the call other than Jose, would you like to address something as Jose has been doing with me so that I could work with you individually right now? Is that something that you might like? Okay. So we're going to, given that we don't have any more volunteers, we're going to start winding down this workshop. You've been introduced. Oh, well, let me ask you first, does anyone have any questions that you might want to put in the chat or be on live right now? We have time for some questions and answers.
I don't mean to take most of the time here, but I noticed something else, if you don't mind me sharing.
I'd like that, yes.
Sure. My parents, especially my mother, who's been always very healthy. They're in the high 70s, close to 80. Today's their anniversary, by the way. 50 years married. So my mother has been diagnosed with some kind of brain deterioration, and it seems to be related to the muscles of her body. And sometimes it worries me so much. I'm the only child, and they are overseas. So I speak with them on a regular basis, but I'm always worrying about, hey, what's the worst that can happen and so forth. What do I have to do to make things at least alleviated better? That's another worry on top of my, stress and everything. But my point here is that I thought about that while I was doing the tapping and saying, well, I have something else to actually, fix, not just myself, but things that are happening with my family who need me, who are depending on me, because she is depending on me. I'm the one who takes care of all the medication, doctor's visits, appointments, trips, and it's even more complicated because we meet in Florida. So I have to arrange rentals, hotel, my trip as well to make sure I'm there before they arrive and leave after they leave back to the Dominican Republic. So we meet there in between. And it's just basically a lot of things happening at once, but I'm able to realize, hey, I can use tapping now for this and concentrate on the actual steps that I need to do to alleviate the pain that she's going through and perhaps even reverse the illness that she's going through that is starting, that maybe I can find ways to, actually enhance her health rather than just worrying about it and waiting for people to call me when I leave messages. I can actually then create a plan. And so I feel more in control over that and less worried. And because we were tapping against my regular stress and overwhelm pertaining to my business and my personal life, I think that I'm very capable of doing the same process like you're teaching us here, for us to learn and actually find the words that I can use that cause the issue and the solutions to them. So I really appreciate that, because that's the method that we need to know, like how to actually process everything, not just what to introduce, but how to do it. It's great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I've worked with many people over the years and still do, whose parents were aging or are aging now, and they have a variety of illnesses. We here in my family have dealt with that, and it's very stressful, Jose. On top of all of your work responsibilities, and then your home life, and then dealing with an aging parent or parents, and needing to travel to care for them from New York to Florida. I think it's really understandable how come you've been feeling so overwhelmed and how come you've been having such difficulty sleeping.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Are there any additional questions that I could answer for you, please? Okay, so you have been introduced to the emotional freedom techniques and have been led through a number of tapping rounds. If you have found this helpful, I encourage you to practice EFT on your own and to bring it to life. If you do so, please again remember that EFT is a very forgiving technique. And the most important thing about it is to practice and utilize it. And again, it's not essential, real important that you remember all the points and the sequence of what I did today. Just practice it and try it out. Now, before we close, Suzanne, I think I saw some comment come in or question come in. Was there something that did come in that needs attention now, or did someone, offer some input?
I don't see anything additional. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself or type it in now. I think, and if I've missed anything, just let me know. I think we've had a couple of drop off, but I think we're good.
Okay. So if you would like some complimentary assistance to use EFT on your own, please go to the link noted right there. If you have any further comments or questions, please feel free to private message me. And as today has been my very first live Zoom mastermind, if you have any questions about how we could have served you more effectively, then please put it on the chat or private message me. And I would like to say that it's been my pleasure to introduce the Emotional Freedom Techniques tapping to you and to work with you. Thank you so much for volunteering, Jose. Thank you again so very much, Susanna, to take care of this Zoom. I could not have done this call without you. So I'm very grateful to you. Thank you again for my wife, for her support, your support. And again, please feel free to private message me with anything more. Thank you so much. Thank you, Susanna.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much, Jeff and Susanna.
I just put those links in the chat, so please feel free to copy those. And if there's any issue with those, just let me know. Those will go, the recording is on my YouTube channel, so if there are any issues with it, just feel free to message me.